We chose interest topic which is traveling. Now I'm gonna present about definition for traveling. What is traveling? As we know, traveling is moving from one place to another place in cities or another countries, especially to perform or while working. Traveling can be done by car, train, plane, and ship. For the next slide, I'm gonna present about history of traveling. Researchers assume that the term journey was first used in the 14th century. People like Marco Polo and Christopher Columbus come to mind when one thinks of historical travel. They were not, however, travelers in the modern sense. They were researchers and adventurers. So, in order to truly understand how individuals began to travel, I decided to focus on everyday people, or men. I'm sure you have noticed were the first to begin traveling simply for enjoyment. Summer homes were visited by wealthy Romans, and it was completely enjoyable. Of course, they could begin doing so because they created something very important for travel highways. They were able to travel safely and efficiently because to a well-developed road network. They believed that observing other nations' art, architecture, and listening to their language was a wonderful method to learn about other cultures. Thus, it may come as a surprise, but during the Middle Ages, individuals began to wander more. And the majority of such trips were religious expeditions. Thousands of kilometers would be traveled to get there. Many guest hotels pop up along the way to make the journey a little easier for them and to profit from the newly increased tourism. Travelers would frequently stop in at different cities and churches along the road, doing some sightseeing in the process of earning a ticket to event.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Izani binti Zulkifli and my matrix number is 11 DKA 21F 1037. So, now my turn to talk about statistics of travelling in our world. Based on the statistic on our survey last month, the highest percentage of travelling in the world is Turkey, while the lowest percentage of travelling around the world is Cuba. Turkey gets a lot of tourists because there are interesting places such as buildings and beautiful scenery. Thus, Turkey also has 4 different seasons such as autumn, rain, flower, and winter. Next, we have other countries which is 15.5% of tourists, and then Thailand have 15.3% of tourists. We also have Russia and Vietnam, which is 7.5% for Russia and 7.4% for Vietnam, while Tunisia get 5% of tourists. Another 6 countries got below than 5% of tourists. Based on our survey, we can see that there are 6 countries that have the lowest percentage of tourist travel in that country, which is UAE, Dominican Republic, India, Cyprus, and Cuba. Maybe in that country there are no interesting places to visit, so it makes tourists less attracted to go that country. Last but not least, we can take a listen. We should maintain the beauty and cleanliness in our country, so we can attract many tourists and investors to come to Malaysia. Not only that, we can also keep the good name of our country from spreading to foreign countries if our country is clean and beautiful. Finally, we can also improve our national economy.
Nowadays, many people like to travel with their friends, family, or others. But do we know why people like traveling? Let me explain it one by one. First, people travel to enjoy the calm and peaceful mornings, long walks, new experience, places, people, and memories. That means during the journey, travelers can watch beautiful scenery in other countries and appreciate the cultures. Second, traveling appears to include the majority of healthy people's habits. Thus, by traveling, people can make memories with beloved family or friends. This is the perfect lesson to strengthen your loved ones. Sometimes, people often forget the importance and need of spending time together. The traveling also helps in rejoicing the long-lost connection and some priceless connection. Third, travel is beneficial in a variety of ways, including lowering the risk of heart disease and reducing stress and anxiety.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurunisha Sabarina binti Okma. My matric number is 11 DKA 21F1046. Okay, now I will talk about the advantages of travelling. First, we can achieve peace of mind. Okay, most of us live in the city, right? Our daily routine involves navigating through urban landscapes on crowded public transport in case of our busy schedules. Okay, gradually stress accumulates, problem loom large, burnout makes us feel dissatisfied with our job. We never seem to find time for adventure. So travel is your cure, okay? Means we can seeing a new places, meeting new people, overcoming various challenges, may even help you appreciate what you have learned behind. So you can get a better perspective on your life and remember all the good things. Okay. Secondly, is we can improve our communication skills. Okay, for example, we can go to places where our native language is not spoken. Okay, sometimes we need to be quite ingenious when trying to relate with the locals, right? At one point, we realized that every attempt to find a place or buy something involves a lot of pointing and gesturing. So from there, we can learn a new language and can increase our confidence when speaking. Okay, at the same time, we also learn a lot about a new way of life, a new culture. We might also find a new friends and expand our real life social network, especially if you are a fan of couch surfing. Okay, yeah. Thirdly, we also can make some memories from traveling. Our memories are part who we are, part of our identity. What is more, positive memories we revisit often. Open one of your photo albums and a minute later, you will realize you are smiling while going through the pictures. Okay, you see happy face and funny moments shared with friends and family. These cherished memories are precious stories we can tell to our children or grandchildren one day. Okay. Fourthly, traveling can boost our confidence. What I want to say here, what is really scary is that you are alone in unknown place. Okay. For example, you cannot rely on your friends and relatives or even on your language skills. This is why how traveling forces you to be resourceful and teaches you how to cope with obstacles. Okay, overcoming various challenges turn to the scary story. into adventure and boost your confidence. You even feel better prepared for the challenges waiting for you back home. Last but not least, traveling can improve your health. Okay, getting enough sleep is vital for both our physical and our mental health. Okay, traveling is a great opportunity to sleep late and even have a nap in the afternoon. Traveling takes us outdoors, the opportunity to get enough sun, that some vitamin D and some fresh air improves both our tan and our mood. So these are several advantages that we can get from traveling, but we have many advantage that we can get, but this is the several important advantage from traveling. Okay, that's all.
The next slide. Traveling is simple but not easy. People always talk about the good stuff when it comes to traveling, but there also come some disadvantages, and quite unfair to look at something from one angle. That is why we are also discussing about the disadvantage of traveling as well. It also not fair to promote all the positive without mentioning some of the disadvantages too.
Okay, now my turn to talk about disadvantage of traveling. People always talk about the good stuff when it comes to traveling. I think it's normal because in all good there must be something bad. So, as we know, traveling also have its own disadvantage. Okay, so first, before we traveling, we must have a lot of money. My first point of disadvantage of traveling is traveling abroad can be expensive. Traveling to faraway destinations and going far sometimes without an income can get expensive. Like now, our world faced pandemic of COVID-19. So, many people busy to gain money to survive their life. They will cheating and raise about price of things. Before we want to travel, we must prepare things like passport, ticket, and clothes, and something else. The value of money on abroad is more expensive compared on our country. So, we must take some action. For example, you have to be disciplined enough to have saved enough money for your trip, and you have to stick a budget while you are on your trip. Okay, next, my second point is having long flights. It is of course less stressful when everything gets smoothly, but sometimes bad surprise happen. For example, your flight may get cancelled or delayed because weather and you cannot fly. Sometimes you may have to wait several hours or even an entire day to catch your next flight. Some people are afraid of boarding a plane but love to traveling. For example, they will dizzy and vomiting. Okay, next, we will be tired because of the long flights. Next, my third point is different food and water quality abroad may be very different from the one in your hometown to which your body is used to. Getting food poisoning and diarrhea is very common when traveling in Asian countries for Western, Europeans, and Americans. Some premium class restaurant and hotel take into account these differences and provide special menu for Western. It also hard to find halal food for Muslim. We usually eat rice in Malaysia, but while another country usually eat Western food. This is because we have a different taste. In Malaysia, we don't have to spend a lot of money to buy some food, while in the country that we are travel, it may cost a lot of money to buy some food. Furthermore, culture shock refers to adjusting to a new culture and travelers and individuals with mental health issues. It can affect anyone that travels. Culture shock can make you feel homesick, invited with the new culture, anxious, and depressed, tired, and lonely or isolated. My last point is pollution caused by tourism. Long flights and road trips contribute to air pollution, cost, or transportation. Tourism contributes also to plastic pollution. Most of the plastic used in tourism is meant to be used only once and then be thrown away. In conclusion, we need to maintain cleanliness in pupil spaces so that the country being visited is not polluted and dirty. In fact, not only one in our country but in the country of the pupil as well.
So we have a little extra about the travelling. We have a several tips safety of travelling. Okay, first, we must keep a photocopy of our passport and all other important documents in a safe place. Okay, if all that things is missing, it will make us a bit hard to go anywhere because it is very important. Okay, second, we must try not to travel at night because it is a bit dangerous. Okay, other than that, if we are stuck somewhere we don't know, if we start somewhere to stay, we can ask hotel manager or other people for advice on safe local areas as opposed to unsafe areas. In addition, we need to avoid seedier areas in the city that we are visiting, especially at night. Okay, seedier areas is somewhere like a quiet and lonely and no one, because it is dangerous because we don't know what is area is like. Okay, and last, as a as a general rule, city streets that include children and women suggest that area is safe for families. For the first point is we must always keep a photocopy of our passport, IC and others. We must always bring where we go. Even in Malaysia, also we must bring that things where we go. No one can means even in Malaysia we must always bring that IC or something like that in. But if we want to travelling, we also must, because it travelling we go to what is that yeah, we went to travelling to go other country, right? Okay, so it is important. Okay, remember, so that are several tips if you want to travelling. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Okay, for the last is conclusion. Traveling is always beneficial for the individual experiencing it. Another great benefit of traveling is a life experience. To conclude, traveling is the perfect entertainment for a person of any age. On the one hand, it helps people to form a better understanding of themselves, their beliefs, and their lives. It is no less than a blessing to be able to travel. Many people are not privileged enough to do that. Those who do get the chance, it brings excitement in their life and teach them new things. No matter how a traveling experience may go, whether good or bad, it will definitely help you plan. And that's all from us. Thank you.